And here's Donnie again, saying hello. Hey, I tell you what, there are some misconceptions about the Monarch 10EE. And I'm going to try to, weed some of those out. So let's have a little look. Okay, now we are back here, and you saw I took a cut on here. Now, it was mentioned, and I thought, I tell you what, one of the things is there's stuff in books, right, on how to test a lathe, and one of them is doing the two-collar test, but it's only valid if it's between centers. And one of the funny things about this machine is it does come with centers, the dog blade and the centers, but I have never in 40 years see one person turn something between centers on a Monarch 10EE. And the reason for that is this machine is a high-speed machine, and you cannot turn things between centers at high speeds because it'll be so out of balance, it'll fly out of the machine. So the two-collar test is not valid whatsoever. That goes back. That's dinosaur age stuff. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring those that are interested up to date. Oh yeah, I really love these Monarch 10EEs, and I think they're partially the most loved and the most hated machines, and definitely the most misunderstood machines. It may look like a Monarch lathe, but I tell you what, some of the things that make a difference is the ball bearing spindles and the high speeds. Now, everything's going to be done in a chuck. You'll never see me do anything between centers on this machine because I've never seen anybody do it. There's no reason to do it. You hold things in a chuck, okay? Now this is really important for high precision. You see this long bar here? You don't want something like that sticking inside the spindle because it'll start doing this. It'll start oscillating and cause the jaws to wobble, and it'll take it into this, and the part will be out of round. So you don't want anything too much longer than the jaws, okay? Now this gets tricky. This is tricky. You don't want to run this bar back and drill a center hole right here. This long bar, you do not want to run that back and drill that center hole, you see? Now what I did, you see that center hole? See if I can get it there. I drilled that center hole right there. And back in the old days, I had a machine shop instructor when I was taking classes at the local community college to further my experience in tool and cutter grinding. He had to reteach me some safety things. So normally I would run this lathe maybe at 200 RPM and then put a center drill in there, unsupported, and then dig it in and drill that center hole. And then what I have is a center hole that's true and not causing any kind of bind on the tail center. And that's what's going on here. Okay, but I want to show you what I did because I'm more safety minded. This is my little lightweight homemade steady rest that I made for this EE. I made it for doing motorcycle sleeves in first, but it's just so lightweight. It's not like that monster stock one I got stuffed over there. So I slipped that in there and didn't have the jaws touching, but it was just there to catch this in case it flipped or something. Okay, just trying to be safe. I don't want to get hurt. Okay, so this bar rotates with absolutely no bind, and you never stick a bar in a 10EE and pull it true with the tail center. If you have that situation, you must put soft pieces like aluminum on the jaws, get it true there, and then you can bend it true here, push it true until the center will slide into the hole. Never use this to pull a bar true, because the work will be totally inaccurate, okay? So everything's done in a chuck. Now, in effect, back to that double collar, two collar test. In effect, I did a two collar test. Okay, I did it here, shows about a couple thousandths big, and I did it here. That's what we zeroed. So that's my two collar test. Okay, it's out 2 thousandths here. And that is really what's going on with work held in a chuck. Now keep that in mind, that two collar test is only between centers. It doesn't mean, it just doesn't mean anything. Okay, and all that's pre-carbide, you know. This tool did not wear at all. In that 16 inches of length there, okay? So, you know, you want no bind. You can't have bind at all. And I talked about balance a little bit. Okay, so I just want to get on a good understanding of what we're working with, you know. And you have, if you're into these machines, you need to look at, you know, many of my videos, and you'll see the part about the spindle deflection and other things you have to contend with. So there's a lot of little things to make this thing work. And believe me, I'll make them work. Okay, I'll be back.